they work, sometimes they don't. So sometimes you would have 8, 9, 10 cars on the grid. By the end of lap 1, you might only have 5, 6 cars, and then by the end of the race, you might just be left with 3, 4. So I did that for about 2 years, and I felt that while the racing was quite nice, it was quite frustrating when the cars broke down and you didn't have parts for it and you couldn't race. So after a while, we said, let's look into other forms of racing. TCR Asia was being launched at the time. So the cars were basically touring cars that you see on the road, like Volkswagen and Seat. So we said, okay, let's do this as a step above just classic cars. So we bought ourselves a Seat Cupra, and we started racing the TCR, I guess, International at the time in 2015. Again, no prior experience in racing fast cars. We just sort of jumped into the deep end and started at Buriram in Thailand. And then after that, we actually was a bit foolish to actually race in Macau that year itself, having just ran twice a year. So after racing TCR for a while and being on the podium numerous times, both in the TCR Malaysia and TCR Asia, we sort of felt that we needed to push the boundaries a bit more. And I guess racing is addictive, and you always want to race in a faster car, improve your driving skills. So that's when we decided to actually purchase the Ligier T3 to participate in the Asia Le Mans series. And that was a move from sprint racing to endurance racing. So 2019 was a great year for the team. We ventured into Europe a fair bit. We went to Spa to participate in the inaugural TCR 500, which we came in champions in the Pro-Am class. So that was a fantastic feeling for the team because we've not really done a 24-hour race before. And to win it was added bonus. And the same year, we actually also went to Le Mans, where we raced at the sport race in an LMP3. And then again, to be at Le Mans, such a historic track, and to be able to race there was also a different feeling altogether and different experience. One that I guess we will never forget. So we actually carried a lot of momentum in 2019. But unfortunately, 2020 came along, and that put paid to all our racing efforts, as with everyone else. So we had to hunker down and participate in online sim racing.
The lights are on there. As soon as they go off, we are going to be racing down the hill, coming up towards the...
So when the borders opened, we straight away sort of said, okay, what are the races available to us? And the one that was closest to where we could participate with the car that we had was the 24 hours of Portugal. But again, the drivers were rusty, the mechanics were rusty, the car was also rusty as well. So we took that as a shakedown, shaking off the rust that we had. But we also realized that the car that we were racing in the TCR was obviously not quick enough. And therefore we decided that maybe it's now time to step up into GT racing. We obviously had a lot of choices of different manufacturers to purchase from German manufacturers to Italian manufacturers. But we decided on AMR simply because it was more of a partnership rather than us just purchasing a car. It not just comes with tech support, it comes with parts support. And the car itself is a proven car where it's been winning races at Le Mans and some of the other endurance races. So we looked at it more of a partnership rather than us just buying a car and just going to race with the car.
We became world champions once again.
Today we are very excited with this partnership that we have with AMR to try and break through boundaries, races, and hopefully be written into the history books of Malaysia Bullet.
Aston Martin Racing is the motorsport division for Aston Martin. Aston Martin Racing has been winning all across the globe, predominantly in America and Europe. We also won last year in China on our debut, and even more so, proving once again that we won at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in the GTD AM class. So our goal here is to also create history, with VIPER NIZA Racing being one of the strongest outfits from Malaysia, to win on the World Championship level. Hi, my name is Weiron Tan. I'm the Director of Motorsport Services AMR Asia. We are the official representatives and distributor for Aston Martin Racing in Asia. So I've known Douglas on a personal level for a couple of years, and we have been in talks on transitioning not only him, but also the focus of VIPER NIZA Racing, perhaps into GT racing in the future. You know, I think the timing sort of worked out as well. Obviously, having months of discussion with Douglas himself, you know, we managed to convince him that it was a strategic move that we can do together, and having VIPER NIZA Racing as our first partner team in Southeast Asia would be enticing not just for the team, but also for himself to see the growth and what the team is capable of doing at a high level of motorsports. Today we're here to obviously have the same goal with VIPER NIZA Racing as well, to create history. We're here to give them our continuous support as our partner team. We hope that it's going to be a long-term strategic partnership, and to hopefully one day win on a World Championship level.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you consider a 10 or 20 lap race to be very challenging in under normal circumstances, can you imagine the toll that it takes on both the team as well as the car when you're competing in a 12 or 24-hour race? But that is where VIPER NIZA Racing has excelled. That is their forte, and these guys enjoy it to the fullest. Now, to tell you about the next phase of VIPER NIZA Racing's journey, I have the pleasure of inviting Mr. Douglas Koo, who is the owner, team principal, and driver extraordinaire for VIPER NIZA Racing. Mr. Douglas Koo.
I could check which one is mine. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not normally a type of person that you would see in a shirt and speaking to a large crowd of people. Normally you would see me in obviously in a race suit or shorts and t-shirt and in a race car. But let me do this properly with reading glasses. Mr. Weiron Tan, Director of Aston Martin Racing Asia, distinguished partners, sponsors, guests, esteemed members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, and on behalf of us all at VIPER NIZA Racing, thank you for kindly being with us this afternoon to share our excitement as we continue our next chapter in international endurance racing. I have to be honest that I was extremely surprised when I was earlier informed that I have done to date 105 race starts. 105. I don't know. Does that sound real? I've been racing since 2015. I think that's a bit little. But then I asked a friend of mine, and they told me that F1 drivers race 20 races a year. So they would have done 100 in 5 years. Anyway, I realize that I've been racing as often as I can, and I've committed to this professionally since 2015, but it's never dawned on me just how many races I've completed. It's true what they say, you lose track of timing or things when you're doing something you love most. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank all my guys at VIPER NIZA Racing, the boys that have always been with me whenever I crash my car or have something wrong with the car. They always fix it. Especially in Macau. That was a pretty good turnaround. also like to thank our partners, esteemed sponsors, and obviously members of the media for your continued support throughout this memorable journey. Above all, it has been a great honor to fly the Malaysian flag in the world of endurance racing globally, and that has been precisely one of our objectives from the start. To field an all-Malaysian team of drivers, who you would meet some of them here. Mechanics, the boys have been really good since day one. Race manager, Nico, and obviously our esteemed race engineer, Ruben Wong. Win or lose, it has always been Malaysia first. We have been blessed to enjoy both great degree of success and challenges throughout our racing journey. In the 7 years of competing, the journey, well actually not 7 years now, it's been 5 years really of racing because 2 years we didn't do any racing. So in the 5 years of racing, the journey has taken us from touring car to GT4 sports car to prototype classes and to endurance racing. When we were racing with the LMP3, that was a really good car to race during endurance because that car is like bulletproof. You know, you could actually run the car for 24 hours and nothing will happen to the car. And so today I'm excited to announce that we will be embarking on a new chapter to compete in the GT3 and GT4 classes with Aston Martin. Endurance racing has always been where our passion lies, and we will continue to focus on long distance races as we've done previously in TCR and Asian Le Mans series. The TCR Seat Cupra remains our racing program moving forward, but sadly our time with the Ligier JS P3 LMP3 race car has come to an end. The car is no longer technically eligible to race under current regulations. But anyone who wants to take it out on a track day, give us a call, we'll take it up. Okay? But obviously our time with the LMP3 race car has given us a wealth of experience and knowledge, and after so many great and memorable years of competing in this class, we feel that now is the most opportune time to move on to GT3 and GT4 sports car racing classes, which has exponentially grown, increasingly competitive with the years with participation of the world's top sports car manufacturers. The decision to focus on GT racing is also due to the fact that there are more races that we can participate in Asia, as opposed to the limited number of races by continuing to compete in the prototype or the LMP category in Asian Le Mans. In fact, after this event, the Vantage GT3 as well as the GT4 that we'll be unveiling to you shortly will be packed up, put into a container and shipped to Singapore, where we will be racing at the support race for Singapore F1. This will be the Thailand Super Series, the Super Series that's happening. And this will be in Singapore, but the first time racing in these two lovely cars. Although we would have preferred to be a 12-hour or 24-hour race, which is where the car is intended for, the 2 25-minute sprint race around the 5.063 kilometer Marina Bay Sands on Marina Bay Street circuit will provide us with a much needed seat time to shake down and familiarize ourselves with the car. The plan moving forward will be to solely focus on endurance racing events. Many of you may be curious why Aston Martin. Like all other teams, we too had the option of going with a German or Italian sports car manufacturer, but we would have been no more than just a customer. What we are looking for was to establish a longer-term partnership, and this is where Aston Martin stood out. With Aston Martin, it is generally a partnership, and besides bringing the equation of attractive proposition of a super competitive and race-winning machine, as well as factory support, we are jointly committed to develop both the team and the brand into a successful partnership, winning partnership, especially in the region. At this point in time, I'd like to also call up to Dominic Ang. I think all of you who are in racing would know Dominic, being an ex-Petronas driver. Dominic and I will be sharing the driving responsibility for this GD3 car in the Thailand series when we actually go to Buriram. Okay. Oh, this is a long speech. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the pleasure of introducing to you the all-new Vantage GD4 shortly, and this is a race car that has been modeled after Aston Martin's standard production Vantage sport car, and is engineered for gentleman races. I'll let Viron to have the honor of telling you about this program in greater detail and the role of VIPER NIZA Racing will be playing in this exciting partnership. This partnership and its new endeavor will also immensely contribute towards diversifying VIPER NIZA Racing's activities and services as a professional motorsports organization. So in closing, endurance race is incredibly exciting and addictive. And just nine days ago, the team was at the Hankook 24 Hours of Barcelona in Spain, where we finished 6th in class despite a series of mechanical setbacks. Not quite the results we were hoping for, but that's the nature of unpredictability of endurance racing. And after 2 years of not being able to compete due to the pandemic, completing the 24-hour marathon was just as equally as satisfying as it is winning. Just to recap, the team's best accomplishment to date will undoubtedly be the class win and the 4th overall finish at the 2019 TCR Spa 500 24-hour endurance race in Belgium in the Seat Leon Cupra. In the prototype class, our best overall was 4th in the 2017-2018 Asian Le Mans Series LMP3 class. But I have to say that the most memorable achievement must surely be to be the first all-Malaysian team to take part in the Road to Le Mans race in 2019, which was the precursor to the prestigious 24 Hours of Le Mans. Obviously, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, there have only been 3 Malaysian drivers have done it. Viron's one of them. Hopefully, I get to add my name someday to that list as well. With the racing pedigree and Aston Martin's rich heritage behind the development of the all-new Vantage GD3 and GD4 cars, we're extremely pumped and excited as we look forward to a new and, God willing, an even more successful chapter in our racing journey. It's a great car, it looks great. I don't know about you, I own 3 road cars, so I'm obviously a big fan of Aston Martin. And with Aston Martin Racing unwavering temper support, I am certain that we are in for exciting times ahead. We just need to focus on what we do best as a team and strive to take VIPER NIZA Racing to bigger heights. I would like to take this opportunity to underline my sincere appreciation to our special guests from the Motorsport Association of Malaysia and Sepang International Circuit. Together, MEM and SIC, we are looking forward to establishing a close relationship to bring local talent, be it drivers or mechanics, to the international motorsport arena. Malaysians have what it takes to excel in global motorsports, but what has proven to be a huge challenge in the past are the right opportunities, and this is what VIPER NIZA Racing hopes to contribute towards. I would like to take this opportunity to also thank the partners and sponsors, Aston Martin Racing Asia, Moto Malaysia, Better, and Momentum. Thank you for your continued belief in the team and what we represent. As a special thank you also goes out to Aston Martin in Kuala Lumpur for kindly letting us host this event here in their showroom. And do check out the production model Vantage that they have. While it may not be full racing trim, it's just as equally as impressive an engine to give you a drive that you'll never forget. To the members of media, my sincere thank you for the support you have thrown behind us all these years as an independent racing team. We were indeed truly honored and humbled. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Governor. Ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon we also celebrate a very accomplished and a very successful British marque. For many of us, Aston Martin is almost synonymous with 007. You know? But to be honest, in racing trim, this car is equally competitive, equally lethal on the track. Historically, Aston Martin has a legacy that dates back to 1913 when it started racing in GT cars, and as you know today, it's also in Formula One. Aston Martin Racing per se is also the racing division for Aston Martin. And to tell you more about Aston Martin Racing Asia, can I please welcome Mr. Nguyen Tan.
Thank you, Harris. Thank you, Mr. Douglas Koo, team owner, principal, and driver of VIPER NIZA Racing Team. Distinguished guests, esteemed members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining us this afternoon for what is another major milestone for Aston Martin Racing Asia. Just to give you a bit of a background, I'll try and keep this short because I'm sure everyone's keen to see what the cars look like. Just to give you a bit of a background, Motorsport Services AMR Asia, or MSAA, is the company behind Aston Martin Racing Asia, and we are the official representative and distributor for Aston Martin Racing in Asia. We were appointed in 2021, and today the company provides professional racing support to customer and partner teams across China and this Southeast Asian region. We serve as the exclusive distributor of all variants of the vintage GT race cars, parts, and technical support for countries that include China, Hong Kong, Macau, Taiwan, and throughout Southeast Asia. AMR's expansion into the region is in line with expanding the brand's successful motorsport footprint. And this comes at a very exciting time with the introduction of all the new vintage GT3 and GT4 race cars, and the reopening of international motorsports after more than 2 years of navigating the challenges of the pandemic. With China and Southeast Asia being a key strategic area of growth for motorsports, MSAA is also the third regional hub to provide local support and technical assistance for Aston Martin outside of its European headquarters. This has been the result of a bold move to create a strategic and engineering support hub that was capable of operating in real time out of AMR's HQ in England. Today, AMR's Vantage GT3 and GT4 contest in more than 20 major international series globally, with an extensive and wide-ranging race program that spans the full spectrum of the GT and endurance racing ecosystem. So coming back to why we're all here this afternoon, I'm extremely honored, and it gives me great pleasure to officially welcome VIPER NIZA Racing into the Aston Martin Racing family. As an ex-driver, I continue to be kept abreast with the team's achievements and adventures in international endurance racing throughout the years, and I've also had the privilege of coming to know Douglas and share his passion of motorsports. So Douglas, on behalf of Aston Martin Racing, let me assure you that you have a race-winning pedigree in the Vantage GT3, and with it our fullest technical support as a partner. We have every confidence that this will mark the start of a new and even more successful chapter for VIPER NIZA Racing moving forward, and I am sure I speak for all of us here that we will be proud to see the Malaysian flag flown high by the team alongside the Aston Martin brand. An all-Malaysian outfit, I might add. VIPER NIZA Racing's degree of commitment, professionalism, and technical competency in endurance racing is next to none compared to the best teams in the world, and they have continued to invest in and demonstrated throughout their years of endurance racing. There's no question that they bring immense capabilities to this partnership. Now, as one of Aston Martin Racing's international ambassadors in the GT3 and GT4 classes, and together with the brand's unparalleled factory support, we have no doubt that our customer racers and racing teams are in good and capable hands. Once again, congratulations to VIPER NIZA Racing and Douglas, and here's to many great years of racing ahead with Aston Martin. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Can you request that you remain at the front? Can you request that you remain at the front and be joined by Mr. Douglas? For members of the media, we will be unveiling the Vantage GT3, which is the first car here, and you can kindly make your way to the front. I believe you have a better angle of the car. You ready, Douglas? Okay, guys, I'll give you the cue when you're all ready. All right? Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, the Aston Martin Racing Vantage GT3. Ladies and gentlemen, for your information, both the Vantage GT3 and GT4 cars will carry on in Aston Martin's successful legacy in sport car racing and is built on the current generation 4-liter V8 twin-turbo Vantage. The biggest difference is the Vantage GT3 is a full-blown race car designed from the ground up. It replaces Aston Martin's most successful customer car, the V12 Vantage. It offers the latest in race car technology, embracing all the experiences from the years of engineering into international sports car racing. This car produces in excess of 400 kilowatts of power and more than 700 newton. It also features a 6-speed X-Strength critical transmission, is rear-wheel drive with traction control, and has a drive weight of 1,320 kilos. Whenever you're ready, gentlemen. Here you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the GT4 Vantage. Now, unlike the GT3, the GT4 is closely after Aston Martin's standard production Vantage sports car. It is engineered home for the gentleman drivers, and it features state-of-the-art features that can be maintained by amateur race teams. This car is rated at 350 kilowatts of power with more than 550 newton meters of torque. It runs a ZF 8-speed transmission and it has a dry weight of 1,400 kilograms. The Vantage also holds the distinction of winning its class in the 2019 AMR Total 24 Hours at the legendary Weber Ring Circuit in Germany. At first glance, you will notice that the livery may look the same. It has the Aston Martin Vantage silhouette, If you look closely, the aerodynamics package is very, very different in both cars. That goes with the electronics, the suspension, as well as braking system. Ladies and gentlemen, pick up us, VIPER NIZA Racing Team and their new GT3 and GT4 Vantage stuff. For all our guests at the media, please feel free to get up close and personal with the car, have a closer look. And I also would like to invite all of you to high tea, which is the buffet table behind. On behalf of VIPER NIZA Racing, thank you for honoring us with your presence this afternoon. Thank you very much. High tea is served.